This is your brain. Don't laugh. It's like a walnut. So I was thinking about the brain, the hemispheres, the left right balance, and sort of metaphors. Well, maybe they're even more than metaphors, like methods of actually using our attention. So, as a lot of us know, the left brain is typically known for more logic, more precision, like sort of clear, sort of representative. This means this. This is a little more systemic. Yeah, but logic, we'll say. I'm not a scientist, by the way. I can't even draw a brain, let alone study on it. The right brain is a little more emotional, symbolic, a little more creative, quote unquote. And these are not hard and fast rules, but typically this is what the hemispheres are good at. And if you want to learn a little more, learn from someone who actually knows how to explain it, I would recommend the work of Dr. Ian McGilchrist. He's really interesting. He's got this book called The Master and Its Emissary about the left right brain balance and how we are typically out of whack in the Western world. We're too much in the left when we should be in the right. We use the left and it's imbalanced, and there's times to open up to the right, especially with emotion and empathy. And what's really interesting, these are from the Rider-Waite Tarot. Two of the suits correspond to this. So the swords are mental. They're the suit of the air. They cut, they discern, and that's the symbol for the left. The symbol for the right, it's just a beautiful card, really, is the cup. Right? The cup accepts. The cup receives. It doesn't edit. It just absorbs. It takes it all in. Yeah, that's a really really good metaphor for these two things. There was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, yin and yang. I didn't put it here, but this is yin, right? Typically feminine, and this is yang, typically masculine, right? So this is the active, and this is a little more of the passive, and it's not positive or negative. Like these each have their time, but ideally there's a really great lesson, great medicine in learning when to use the left, when to use the right. Creativity, right? If you're gonna, as I'm a writer, certainly not an artist, or a drawer. My first drafts of something, I gotta use this only. Like I gotta absorb, take it all into the cup. It's not the time to edit. Then once that's down, then I take out the sword and I edit and I start to cut. So that's sort of the creative process. A lot of that is very similar. There's a time for one, there's a time for the other. This is really well described in this book called How to See Fairies, Discover Your Psychic Powers in 6 Weeks. I haven't finished it yet, but all that to say, I'm not seeing fairies yet. But there's a lot of great, this Ramsay Dukes, he's a British magician, and talks about these psychic powers, quote unquote. It's just larger attention, wider attention, right? And typically coming more into this, right? And just bringing information rather than editing it and letting it all come in and sort of seeing it and sifting it. And he does a really good description of it. Don't mind my floss. At least I'm flossing. And this has a really good description for it. I'm going to do this spring. There's a couple really good exercises. So yeah, that comes in, ties into mindfulness, because you really just want to let things come and go. Your thoughts come and go. If you're going to do a certain type of mindfulness, is mindfulness with, sort of discernment and like focus, meditation on a subject. But typically I don't really do that. That's other traditions. But we want to bring in and not edit or not attach to the thoughts. We just let them come in and let them flow back and forth. And that's sort of letting, let it come into the cup, let it run out of the cup, right? We're not worried about it. We're not too attached to it. So really interesting, way to look at attention. And when are we in our left, when are we on our right? Sometimes we're in our left when we should be in our right. Sometimes we're in our right when we should be in our left. And again, if you want to learn more about this from someone who actually knows how to string sentences together about it, this guy, Dr. Ian McGilchrist, is really good on that. So I had a couple thoughts on that. I wanted to get those out. So hopefully that helped, and hopefully you're in your right mind listening to this, and then you can switch in your left and see what resonates for you.